All right, good afternoon, everyone. Court will continue with the July 7th, 2022 docket. And we have both jail cells. I wonder who's going to go first. Let's see what Laura we can get first.
I'm Miss Judy.
Okay, Miss Judy.
Judge, sorry to disappoint. It's the husband.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That'll do it.
Number 26.
Number 26, that'll be,
Daniel Mendoza.
it'll be, I'm sorry, I gotta get the Mendoza, Juan Daniel Mendoza. Juan Daniel Mendoza. And we have Mr. Adrian Lozano. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
For the attorney, ADA's office. Let me see here. We have Juan Daniel Mendoza. It'll be a plea, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Judge.
that's correct.
All right. Can you hear me, Juan?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. CR 2205-928D, Juan Daniel Montalvo Mendoza. Your charge, Class B misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that? The potential penalty, yeah.
Yes.
All right. You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation when you give a plea?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
I'm sorry?
Not
guilty.
No.
I didn't hear. Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Juan,
Yes.
Well, did you sign the paperwork?
Yes.
You signed the paperwork?
Not
Okay,
guilty.
okay, so when you signed the paperwork, that's because you were pleading guilty. You know that?
Yes.
Okay, so you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, there we go. State's evidence.
State's evidence, yes, Your Honor. State offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted is sufficient to corroborate a plea guilty.
no objection, Judge. So agreed to and stipulated.
And without objection, so admitted, it'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And recommendation, State?
Your Honor, the state recommends a $100 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 6 months, a theft class, 20 community service hours, and a restitution hearing for Lidia Maldonado.
Lidia Maldonado. And the restitution hearing is going to be for July 19th, 3 p.m. July 19th, 3 p.m. in case there's any, we'll find out if there's any restitution on that day. Meanwhile, he's done like 26 days in jail, more or less, right?
Correct, Judge.
All right, court will hereby waive the community. Court will waive the community hours and the fine and court costs. 180 over 6 months, theft classes, restitution hearing, 7/19, 3 p.m. Did you get that, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're going to be on 6 months probation, so good luck with that. But we'll see you July 19th to see if there's any restitution, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your excuse. Anything else, Mr. Youngs?
That's all I have before this court, Judge. May I be excused?
Your excuse. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. You have a great day, Judge.
Thank you.
Paco Gonzalez, he's got number 1, number 2, number 17.
All right, Mr. Paco Gonzalez. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Judge. Long time no see.
Yes, sir. Long time no see. And you got Vianney
Yes,
Vianney Gonzalez Cuevas?
DNA.
Or Vianney. I'm sorry. Vianney.
I pronounce it the same way, Judge. Don't.
All right. Well, that was close anyway. You got to admit. Now, she's got 3 cases, 1, 2, and number 17. State, are they going to be a plea on all 3 of them?
Your Honor, she's pleading to number 17. She's pleading to number Number 1 and 2, Your Honor, as well. All of them.
All of them then. Okay, we'll do all of them. It'll be 1, 2, and 17, right? Okay, there's 3 cases here. Vianney Gonzalez Cuevas. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. 3 cases, ma'am. Here they are. CR 19-05-660D, assault, class A. CR 19-05-661D, criminal mischief, class B. And the number 17, CR 22-04-825D, resistant arrest, class A. On the class A cases, the potential penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. On the class B, the potential penalty can be up to 6 months in jail and not more than $1,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And you understand that for all 3 cases, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those 2 rights?
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your
And
Honor.
what is your plea, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily for all 3 cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports to State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures, as State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment, as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection is so stipulated, Judge.
Without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on all 3 cause numbers. Now, state, on the recommendations, are any of them identical?
1 second, Your Honor. Your Honor, number 2 and number 17 are identical.
All right. What is it, sir?
Your Honor, for CR 19-05-661D, criminal mischief, and CR 22-04-825D, the state would recommend a $100 fine, court cost, 54 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 54. On CR 19-05-660D, assault causing bodily injury, the state recommends a $100 fine, court cost, 1 year, Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 18 months, an anger management class, defensive driving class, 20 community service hours, no harmful contact to the victim, Victoria Reimer, and a restitution hearing for Irene Salinas, Your Honor.
Restitution hearing for Salinas?
Irene Salinas, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that's going to be for the same date we gave earlier. That'll be 7/19 at 3 p.m. 7/19, 3 p.m. for the restitution hearing. Now, Mr. Gonzalez, on the first 2 recommendations, it'll be 0 fine, 0 court costs, 54 for 54. That'll be a time serve for the first 2 cases, time serve, okay? CR 19-05-661D and CR 22-04-825D, time serve. On the probation case, no fine, no court costs, 1 year in jail, probated for 18 months, anger management, defensive driving, waive the community hours, and of course, no harmful contact with Victoria Reiner. And
Also, Your Honor.
Yeah.
That one would run concurrent with CR 25-31-22G. She was placed on probation by the 370, Your Honor.
okay, this one also waive the fees, no fees on this one. Okay, and so we have restitution hearing July 19th, 3 p.m. Did you understand that, Miss
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Cuevas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 2 cases were time served, 1 is probation, and we have a restitution hearing July 19th, 3 p.m. Okay, ma'am?
Okay, sir.
All right, good luck with that. You're excused. Have a great day.
And be excused, Judge.
You too, sir. Have a great day.
Have a good day, sir. It's good seeing you.
Yes, sir. Good seeing you.
Mr. Elvin Barbosa, number 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. That's
Jose
going to be
Perez.
Jose Roberto Perez.
Good
Jose
afternoon, Judge.
Roberto Perez.
For Mr. Perez, he will need the service of interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you know if he's a U.S. citizen?
He is not, Judge.
He is not.
No, he'll likely be
Okay.
deported. I believe he already has a deportation hold on him, Judge.
Okay, he's got a nice hold.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, nice hold. And that'll be Jose Roberto Sanchez Perez. 3 cases.
Yes, Your Honor.
They're gonna be pleased on them.
State, is it going to be a plea on all 3 of them?
Yes, Your Honor. It's going to be time served for all three, Your Honor.
For all three, there you go. Okay,
That's correct, Judge.
all right. Sometimes of the three, there'll be like a 2 pleas and then 1 dismissal. So I like to know beforehand, but in this case, we know already it's 3 pleas.
Señor Pérez, levante su mano derecha.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
¿Usted jura que el testimonio que va a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí, lo juro.
Yes, I swear.
All
Puede
right.
bajar su mano.
You can put your hand down, sir. 3 cases, Mr.
Tiene
Perez.
3 casos, señor Pérez.
Let me see here. CR 20-09-164D, Jose Roberto Perez, interfering with emergency assistance, Class A misdemeanor. CR 20-09-165D, Jose Roberto Perez, assault, Class A misdemeanor. And the third case, CR 20-09-166D, Jose Roberto Perez, criminal mischief, Class B misdemeanor. On the Class A misdemeanors, there's 2 of them. The potential penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. On the Class B, the potential penalty can be up to 6 months in jail and not more than $180. I'm sorry. It can be no more than $1,000 fine and no more than 6 months in jail upon conviction. You understand that, sir?
Señor Pérez, usted tiene 3 casos. Los dos, el primero, CR 20-09-164D y CR 20-09-165D. Esos dos son una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de 2 años en la cárcel. El tercer caso, CR 20-09-166D. Esa es una clase B. Bajo la ley es no es más de una multa de $1,000 y no más de 6 meses en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿usted comprende eso sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
For all 3 cases, you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
En los 3 casos, señor Pérez, usted tiene el derecho de que un jurado oiga su caso y también tiene el derecho de apelar. Pero ¿es correcto que usted ha rechazado esos 2 derechos en los 3 casos?
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez lo han declarado que esté mentalmente incompetente?
No.
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
¿Usted comprende que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación que su abogado le explicó? La corte le puede poner cualquier sentencia, todo y cuando el juez se quede adentro de la ley. ¿Usted comprende eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that your plea of guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of citizenship under federal law? I'm sorry, denial of admission under federal law.
Usted comprende que si usted no es ciudadano de este país y se declara culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que le nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Usted comprende eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, and was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se le explicó a usted por su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo se declara? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on all 3
¿Y se
cases?
está declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente en los 3 casos?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports to States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures of States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment of States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection, Your Honor. So agreed to stipulate to venue and jurisdiction. We also stipulate that the evidence is adequate in this case, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court that Jose Roberto Perez is guilty as charged on all 3 cause numbers. Recommendations state, any other identical by any chance?
Yes, Your Honor, they're all going to be the same recommendation. The state
And what-
recommends
Okay,
a $100 fine, court cost, 76 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 76.
all right, for all 3 cases, court will hereby waive the fine and court costs, 76 days in jail credit for 76. It'll be time served for all 3 cases.
Señor Pérez, el juez le va a quitar la multa y los costos de corte en cada caso y le va a dar tiempo servido. Usted ya sirvió 76 días, le van a dar crédito por esos 76 días que usted ya ha servido. Suerte, señor Pérez.
Gracias.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything else, Mr. Barbosa?
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
You may be excused. Have a great day,
Thank you,
sir.
Judge.
Thank
You
you.
guys stay safe.
Thank you.
Mr. Billy Chapa, he's got number
Okay.
13, number 14, and number 28.
I'm sorry, the numbers again, you said 13,
14 and 28.
excuse me. 13, 13, 14, and 28, right? All right, let me see here. And that'll be Mr. Oxford, right, sir?
Yes, Judge Austin Oxford standing in for Billy Chapa, present and ready for a plea.
All right, here we go. There are 3 cases here. Yeah, it looks like a plea on all 3 of them. And I'm sorry, that'll be who now? Jose Armando Cardenas. Jose Armando Cardenas.
Buenas tardes.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
All right.
Levante su mano derecha, señor.
As far as you know, Mr. Oxford, does he have a high school?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge. I spoke with Mr. Chapa. He's in federal court. He was hoping to be able to be out by now, but he's not. He did not mention anything to me about an ICE hold.
Okay.
Español.
Sí, yo le voy a traducir, señor. Estoy esperando que el juez empiece.
All right. Let me see here. Please raise your right hand.
Levante su
You
mano
swear the
derecha.
testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
¿Usted jura que el testimonio que va a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Voy a decir la verdad. Hacer.
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Puede bajar su mano.
All right. You have 3 cases here, Mr.
Tiene 3
Cardenas.
casos, señor
Tres
Cárdenas.
casos. Let me see here. All right. CR 2202-772D, Jose Armando Cardenas Jr., theft, Class B misdemeanor. CR 2202-773D, Jose Armando Cuevas Jr., Class B misdemeanor. And then the third one, also a Class B misdemeanor, CR 2205-963D, Jose Armando Cardenas Jr., DWI, Class B. So all 3 cases are Class B misdemeanors. Each case carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in jail and not more than $1,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that, sir?
Usted tiene 3 casos, señor Cárdenas. Los 3 casos son clase A, clase B. Bajo la ley es no más de 6 meses en la cárcel y no más de una multa de $1,000. ¿Usted comprende eso, sí o no? Los 3 casos. Yes.
Sí.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Usted comprende que usted tiene el derecho de apelar en cada caso y también tiene el derecho de que un jurado oiga su caso. ¿Es correcto que usted ha rechazado esos 2 derechos?
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez lo han declarado que esté mentalmente incompetente?
Solamente yo tengo un balazo en la cabeza y tengo ansias. Y tengo la bala dentro, pero estoy bien.
I got shot one time in the head and I still have a bullet in my head, but I'm fine.
Okay, so mentally you're fine. Court will hereby find you competent to stand trial, okay? You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation when you give a plea?
¿Usted comprende que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que usted se declare culpable? ¿Usted comprende eso, sí o no?
¿Me puede repetir eso otra vez, por favor?
You do it again.
Vamos a ver.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation?
Usted comprende que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación del fiscal. ¿Sí o no?
Sí, sí.
Yes.
All right. You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that your plea of guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of admission under federal law?
Usted comprende que si usted se declara culpable y usted no es ciudadano de este país y se declara culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que le niegue la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se le explicó a usted por su abogado?
Sí, señora. Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. And for all 3 cases, how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not
Y
guilty?
por los 3 casos, ¿cómo se declara? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Okay, for the record, on the Class B charge, the potential penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a 2,000, I'm sorry.
6 months, 180 days.
Yeah, for the Class Bs,
Yes, sir.
yeah, for the Class Bs, the potential penalty can be up to 6 months in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. I think earlier I said 1,000. So do you understand that, Mr. Cardenas?
Señor Cárdenas, anterior el juez le dijo que una clase B es no más de una multa de $2,000, pero es no más de una multa de $2,000.
Ujú.
Nada más quiere clarificar el récord. ¿Usted comprende eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I said earlier $1,000 instead of $2,000. So, okay, so I think I estimated he pled guilty freely and voluntarily on all three cases. State evidence, please.
Yes, Your Honor. State office plea documents and offense reports of States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures of States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment of States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection, Your Honor, to the evidence, and so agreed and stipulated.
Without objections, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant, Jose Armando Cuevas Jr., is guilty as charged on all three cause numbers. Recommendations, state any of them identical by any chance?
No, Your Honor, they're all going to be different.
Okay, no problem. We can start with the C. You know what? Let's start with the DWI case. CR 22-05-963D. Yes, sir.
The state recommends a $100 fine, court cost, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, excuse me. The mobile alcohol monitoring device for 6 months, an alcohol class, the MAD impact panel, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, a restitution hearing, and 20 community service hours.
Restitution hearing, once again, it'll be 7/19, 3 p.m. July 19, 3 p.m. on the restitution hearing, in case there's any damages out there. So, okay. Okay, so then let me hear the other two, and then we'll see what we can do here. CR 22-772D, the theft class case.
Yes, Your Honor. The state recommends a $100 fine, court cost, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, a theft class, 20 community service hours, a restitution hearing to victim Yesenia Gonzalez.
Yesenia Gonzalez, 7/19, 3 p.m. On this one, no fine, no court costs, no fees, and no community hours, all right? To run concurrent with the first one. And then CR 22-02-773D. Yes, sir.
The state recommends a $100 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, defensive driving class, 20 community service hours, and a restitution hearing to Alberto Sainz and Jose Bustamante.
Alberto Sainz, Jose Bustamante, 7/19, 3 p.m. for the restitution hearing. No fine, no court costs, no fees, no community hours. And they're all going to run concurrent with the first one, which is CR 22-05-963D. On this one, you know what? But because of 22 days in jail, more or less, also no fine, no court costs, 180 or 1 year mobile device, 6 months, alcohol classes, impact panel, 90 days suspension of driver license. They're going to run concurrent with any administrative suspension and restitution for 7/19, 3 p.m. Did you get that, Mr. Austin? Mr.
I did, Judge. The DWI is a Class B, is that correct, Judge?
Yes, sir. Class B.
Judge, we would just be asking for any consideration on the device. It is financially prohibitive, or prohibitive, I'm sorry.
Okay, but I think was there an accident because there's restitution?
Oh, if there was, Judge, yeah, then it's mandatory.
Yeah, right, State, there was an accident? Yeah, sí, we can leave it on.
Señor Cárdenas, en los tres casos va a estar en libertad condicional por 1 año y van a correr conjuntas. So va a estar en libertad condicional por 1 año. So usted cuando usted salga tiene que hacer una cita con su oficial y el oficial le repasa todas las condiciones que usted tiene que seguir. Tiene que regresar el día 19 de julio para ver si usted causó daños. Si usted causó daños va a ser responsable por liquidar esas cantidades.
Pero no sabemos, we don't know yet until that date, okay?
Pero no sabemos hasta ese día.
Ese día de que voy a tener que ir con el probation officer.
Nomás saliendo tiene que ir con el oficial.
Con el probation officer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
sí.
¿Y me puede dar la dirección donde está la oficina?
Mr. Ramirez, is that going to be on? But
Judge, if he can write it down, if not, I don't know if the jailers can have that information, but it's 3100 South Business Highway.
Ahí cuando lo dejen salir, ahí pida la dirección, señor, porque no tiene que anotarla.
Y el día 19, donde voy a tener que regresar, es ahí en la oficina del oficial, eso que me va a decir si voy
va a ser por Zoom, así como hoy. Hable con su abogado para que le dé toda la información.
So yo me voy a tener que meter en el teléfono.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Sí, voy a pedir ayuda a alguien de mis cuñadas o mis
Sí,
hermanos.
ándele.
Y yo tenemos,
Sí, está bien.
sí,
Okay,
sí,
también así.
Ándele, gracias.
sí, señora. Sí, señora.
Suerte.
Sí,
Okay,
señora.
thank you. You may be
Muchas
excused.
gracias.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Oxford, anything else, sir?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge.
Okay, you're excused. Have a good day, sir.
You Judge, likewise. Have a good day to
Thank
you
you.
both.
You too, bye.
Mr. Alfredo Morales has Joey Rios Cifuentes,
Joey Rios Cifuentes.
number 12.
Number 12, Cifuentes. All right, Mr. Morales, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Your client is CR 22-02-137D, Joey Rios Cifuentes. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You need interpretation, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, you can put your hand down. Your charge here is burglary of Class A misdemeanor of a coin machine. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. And did you waive those two rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
Yes.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits, and so agree and stipulate to venue and jurisdiction, and that the evidence supports the conviction.
All right, without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. In our recommendation, state.
Your Honor, the state recommends a $100 fine, court costs, 133 days Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 133.
All right, court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. No fine, no court costs. 133 for 133. It'll be a time served. Okay? That'll do it. Time served. You excused, Mr. Cifuentes. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You too, Mr. Morales. Have a good day, sir.
Likewise.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Jaime Roel Garcia, number 19, and number 20, Omar Galvan.
Number 19 and 20, Omar Galvan.
And he needs to plead to both of these so the felony can be dismissed.
Okay. Omar Alexander Galvan. He needs to plead 2 cases so that his felony case can be dismissed, I understand. Any interpreting, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I think it'd be best.
He needs interpreting? Okay.
No, I can understand English.
Okay, very good. Raise your right hand, sir. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. 2 cases, Mr. Galvan, CR 22-05-232D, CR 22-05-233D, both of them, Omar Alexander Galvan. First one, unlawfully carrying a weapon, Class A, and the second one, possession of a controlled substance, Class A. So each case is a Class A misdemeanor. Each case carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that for each case, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection, and so it's been stipulated, Your Honor.
Without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on both clause numbers. And recommendations, state, are they identical by any chance?
No, Your Honor, they're not.
Okay, the first one, CR 2205-232D.
Your Honor, the state recommends a $300 fine, court costs, 1 year, Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 14 months, a gun safety course, a drug education class, forfeiture of the weapon, and 20 community service hours.
All right. Court will hereby waive the community hours and to run concurrent with CR 2205-233D. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the state recommends a $100 fine, court costs, 102 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 102.
All right, on this one, no fine, no court cost, 102 for 102, time served on the second case, which is CR 2205-233D. Let's go back to CR 2205-232D, all over kind of weapon. On this one, we'll go ahead and make it $100 fine plus court costs. And with the 1 year probation, I'm sorry, 14 months probation, gun classes, and forfeiture of the weapon. Court will hereby waive the community hours. And did you say drug classes as well?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
Okay, that's okay. That'll do it. Did you understand that, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it'll be the 14 months probation and forfeiture of the weapon, but $100 fine plus court costs, not 300. All right. Did you understand that, Mr. Galvan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck with your probation. Okay, sir.
Your Honor.
All right. You're excused. Have a good day. Mr.
Your Honor,
Garcia,
that's
that's it, sir.
That's all I have.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're excused. Have a good day.
Miss Melisandra Mendoza, she has number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 8.
Okay. Let's see here, Miss
Norberto Salazar.
Norberto Salazar. We got 1, 2. Give me the numbers again.
6.
Yeah.
18.
We got 4, 5, 6, and which one?
18.
And 18. All
Good afternoon,
right.
Your Honor. That is correct.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Is it like 4 cases, right, ma'am?
That is correct, Your Honor.
4 cases for Norberto Salazar, and it appears that he'll be pleading to all 4 of them.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Right. Okay. Can you hear me, Mr. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. All right. There's 4 cases here, Mr. Salazar. Let me see here. First one, CR 2007-893D, Norberto Salazar Jr., DWI Class A. Second one, CR 2007-894D, possession of marijuana, Class B. CR 2007-895D, Norberto Salazar Jr., possession of a controlled substance, Class A. And then the last one, CR 2205-075D, Norberto Salazar Jr., Class A DWI. So it appears that there's 2 Class A DWIs.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. So then on the Class A DWIs and the possession of controlled substance, on the Class A cases, your potential penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. On the Class B POM, that carries the potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that for all 4 cases, you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on all 4 cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports of States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defense right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914, disclosure of States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment of States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
Your Honor, there's no objection to the exhibits and we so stipulate.
Without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of this court. The defendant is guilty as charged on all 4 cases. And let me take up the DWI cases first. CR 2007-893D. That's the DWI. Yes, state.
Yes, Your Honor, the state recommends a $100 fine, court costs 337 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 337.
337 for 337. So on this one, no fine, no court cost. It'll be a time served 337 for 337. The next DWI case is going to be CR 22-05075D. Yes, sir.
The state recommends a $100 fine, court cost, 50 days Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 50 days.
All right. Also waive the fine and court costs, 50 for 50, time served on this one.
Thank you.
Now let's go to the other two I have here. CR 20-07-894D, the POM.
Your Honor, the POM and the possession of controlled substance are going to be the same recommendation.
Okay.
It'll be a $100 fine, court cost, 337 days Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 337, Your Honor.
Okay. Likewise, no fine, no court cost, 337 for 337. That'll be a time served as well for CR 20-07-894D and CR 20-07-895D, time served for both cases.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, time served for all four cases, Mr. Salazar. Okay, sir?
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank you.
Mr.
Have a good day.
Salazar, I'm sorry, Mr. Salazar, I will be
Yes,
seeing
ma'am.
you tomorrow for the felony plea, okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor, I'm sorry, Mr. Salazar will be pleading to 2 years TDC out of the 206.
All right, very well. Thank you very much. You
Thank you.
excuse me. Have a good day,
Thank you,
okay?
Your Honor. Well, all of
Thank
you
you.
have a good day, okay? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. And we have Mr. Joe Reyna.
He's got number 16,
Good afternoon, Judge.
number 13 and 16.
I think, good afternoon, sir. I think you have 15 and 16. That would be Jose Luis Gomez.
How's your day?
Dismiss and extend.
Okay, I think there's some, both of them are motion to revoke,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Yeah. All right, we have next Jose Luis Gomez. Now, there's CR 22-04-333D and CR 22-04-334D. Both of them are motions to revoke. And I believe the state has an announcement for each of them, right, state?
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to be dismissing and extending community supervision for 3 months from the original termination date, Your Honor.
For both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so therefore, court will hereby extend both probations to 3 more additional months, but will hereby dismiss the revocations on CR 22-04-333D and CR 22-04-334D, both of them state of Texas versus Jose Luis Gomez. So both cases get dismissed, both revocations get dismissed, but they get extended for 3 months more. Okay, sir, you understand that?
Yes,
You
Judge.
understand that, Mr. Gomez?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll do it. Thank you very much. Your excuse.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That'll do it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Ted Lopez has number 3 and number 21.
But they're different people. or same people?
Maria Martinez.
Okay. We're through with the,
No.
not with the gen, no, okay. Maria Abelina Martinez. Maria Abelina Martinez.
Number,
Give me the numbers again.
number 3 and number 21.
3 and 21. Okay, that'll be, okay, that's the Y and the Y. Okay,
Number 3 might be a dismissal.
okay. Okay. So we have Maria Abelina Martinez. State, I believe one is going to be a plea and one's going to be a dismissal.
Your Honor, what was the case number?
I think one of them is CR 19-0906D. I think that's the possible dismissal.
That's
Yes,
correct.
Yes, Your Honor, that's
Okay,
correct.
and the plea is going to be on the CR 22-05-437D.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right, Maria Martinez, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may
Yes,
put
Your
your
Honor.
hand down. You may put your hand down. CR 22-05-437D, Maria Abelina Martinez. Your charge, POM, Class B misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than up to 6 months in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You
Yes, Your
understand?
Honor.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
Are you pleading guilty? Are you pleading
Yes, Your
guilty
Honor.
freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914, disclosures as States Exhibit 3, waiver of risks and needs assessment as States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents will cooperate, Your Honor.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And our recommendation, state?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 6 months, a drug education class, and 20 community service hours. In exchange for this plea, the state will be dismissing CR 19-09206D, violation of protective order.
Is that the understanding, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will hereby, on the plea, waive the fine and court costs and the community hours. So it'll be 180 over 6 months and the drug education classes for the plea. And court will furthermore dismiss our 19-09206D State versus Maria Avelina Martinez. Case dismissed. Did you understand that, Ms. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused. Good luck with your probation, okay?
Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Mr. Lopez, did you have another one?
Yes, he has number
Yes,
24,
Your Honor.
number 25, Barbara Jackson.
Okay, Barbara Jackson.
24, possible dismissal, plea.
24 and 25, Barbara Jackson. All right, looks like a possible dismissal and a plea. So I believe it's one plea only. Let me see here. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. The case that you're going to plead on is CR 22-05-825D, Barbara Gannon Jackson. That's assault, class A misdemeanor. That carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914, disclosures as States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to this court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents cooperate, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged in CR 22-05-825D. And a recommendation, state?
Yes, Your Honor, the state recommends a $300 fine, court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 15 months, an anger management class, life skills class, 20 community service hours, and no harmful contact with the victim, Noemi Alanis. In exchange for this plea, the state will be dismissing CR 22-05824D, unlawful restraint.
All right, then Noemi Alanis, and then court will hereby waive the community hours. That's number one. And number two, will lower the fine to $100 plus court costs. And then court will hereby dismiss CR 22-05-824D, Barbara Gannon Jackson. This case is hereby dismissed. Did you understand that, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no harmful contact there for this person, Alanis, and no community hours on your probation, okay, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck with that. Give me your excuse.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Mr. Ted Lopez also has number 10, number 11, and number 27. Jonathan Lee Guerra.
Number 10. Jonathan. Let me see. Jonathan Lee Guerra. Jonathan. All right. I have 10, 11, and 27. Okay, Jonathan Lee got 3 cases now. A possible dismissal on number 10, and then I think he's gonna plea on number 11 and number 27.
That's correct.
All right, plea on 11 and 27. Okay, Mr. Jonathan Lee Guerra, please raise your right hand, sir. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. You have 3 cases, but you're only gonna plea on 2, and then the third one is gonna get dismissed after the plea. CR 21-10-8D, Jonathan Lee Guerra, DWI, Class B misdemeanor. And then CR 22-05-961D, Jonathan Lee Guerra, assault, Class A misdemeanor. DWI case, Class B misdemeanor, carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. The Class A carries a potential penalty of not more than a $4,000 fine and 1 year in jail. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. For each case, you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily for both cases?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Our state offers plea documents and offense reports to States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosure of States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment of States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction in this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered for both cases. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents are sufficient to corroborate the plea of guilty, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant, Jonathan Lee Guerra, is guilty as charged on both cause numbers. The first recommendation state, DWI, CR 21-10-850D.
The state recommends a $300 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, an alcohol class, defensive driving class, mobile alcohol monitoring device for 6 months, 180 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 20 community service hours.
All right. Let me hear the second one. That'll be CR 22-05-961D.
The state recommends a $200 fine, court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, an anger management class, 30 community service hours, and a restitution hearing, and no harmful contact with the victim, Ileana Valderas.
Ileana Valderas?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the restitution hearing is 7/19, 3 p.m., July 19, 3 p.m. All right. On the second case, court will issue a no fine, no court costs, no fees, and no community hours.
On which case is that, Judge?
I'm sorry?
On which case is that?
The assault.
Yes,
CR 22-05-961D. On that one, no fine, no court costs, no fees, no community hours, and no harmful contact with Ileana Valderas, and a 17/19, 3 p.m. hearing for restitution on this one. Now, to run concurrent with the DWI case, CR 21-10-850D, on that one, court will hereby waive the community hours. And let me see here. We can make it $100 fine plus court cost instead of $300. Did you get that, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor. I did have one request on that.
Sure, go ahead.
Your Honor, there was a recommendation to include the mobile monitor alcohol device, Judge. This is his first DWI, Judge. It's not mandatory, but I know that the state does request it on every DWI, Your Honor, so we're asking that be waived.
Okay, the question I have here, was there an accident?
No, Your Honor.
No accident?
No accident, Your Honor.
Okay, court will hereby waive the interlock device. Waive interlock device. Then there's a third case, right, State?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. The state will be dismissing CR 21-00580D, possession of marijuana.
All right, court will hereby dismiss CR 21-00580D, State versus Jonathan Lee Guerra. Case is hereby dismissed. Did you get that, Mr. Guerra?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck with your probation, okay, sir?
Thank you, Judge.
We'll see you on 7/19, 3 p.m. for restitution hearing, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ted has restitution here.
Okay, Ted, is there a jail case or?
Yes, we have one more.
You want me to call it right now?
Number 2.
Number 2, Jose Angel Garcia Jr. Is it for restitution hearing?
That's correct.
CR 220504. So it's not a jail case, right? Not a jail case. Jose Angel Garcia, not a jail case. CR 220504D. State, any announcement on this one?
1 second, Your Honor. If the
Who's the victim?
Who is the victim?
yes, Your Honor. The victim is Larissa Maldonado.
Larissa Maldonado. I do not see Larissa Maldonado in the waiting room, nor is she at the courthouse or courtroom, because I would be notified if she was. So what is the announcement state?
Your Honor, we've made several attempts to contact Larissa Maldonado. At this time, they would be requesting restitution be set at 0 because the victim has not showed up or made contact with our office.
What's the name of the victim again?
Okay, and the victim is her name again? Larissa?
Larissa Maldonado.
Okay. On CR 220504D, Jose Angel Garcia Jr., 0 restitution. Okay, that'll do it.
Thank you.
Your excuse. Okay,
Last jail case we have.
last jail case.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You-
Public defender has one more, number 23.
Public defender has number 23. Let me see here. That is going to be Arturo Gaspar. Arturo Gaspar.
Yes, Your Honor. I have his first name as Joel Arturo Gaspar, Your Honor. And he's
Correct.
present. He's
Yes,
a
sir.
Spanish speaker, Judge.
Okay, Joel Arturo Figueroa Gaspar. I'm gonna add one more name, okay, sir?
Buenas tardes.
Okay, buenas tardes.
Levanta tu mano derecha. Pues,
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
¿juras que
truth?
el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Yes, sir. Sí, señor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. CR 2205-795D, Joel Arturo Gaspar. Your charge here, Class A misdemeanor, DWI. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Te acusan de una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de 1 año en la cárcel. La pregunta es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Comprendes que tienes el derecho de apelar y el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso, pero es correcto que has rechazado esos 2 derechos.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente?
No, no, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
¿Comprendes que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación del fiscal después de que tú te declares culpable? ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization of federal law?
Y comprendes tú que si tú no eres ciudadano de este país y te declaras culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how do you plead, sir, guilty or not guilty?
¿Y cómo te declaras, culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Y te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we missed the interpretation. I'm sorry. When he said culpable, you were going to say guilty, right? I didn't let you say it.
Good.
So for the record, the interpreter was going to say guilty, and it is guilty. All right, state evidence.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures as States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of the court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate you venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents corroborate the plea of guilty, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court that Joel Gaspar is guilty as charged in CR 2205-795D. Recommendation state, I know it's an open plea, but what is the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $300 fine, court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probator for 14 months, 3 days Hidalgo County Jail, 180 days Texas driver's license suspension, the repeat offender program, an alcohol class, the MAD impacts panel, and the mobile alcohol monitoring device for 7 months.
For 7 months on the mobile. Yes, sir, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor, we are pleading the court, Judge. Mr. Gaspar does have an ICE hold, Your Honor. He will be taken into custody, go to the federal system after this. He does have 24 days credit, Your Honor. We're requesting that this be a time served 24 days credit for 24 days, Your Honor.
Let me see here. He's going to be deported, is that what you're saying?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. In that case, I think the court can make it 30 days in jail credit for 24. Will he accept that?
Yes, Your Honor, he'll accept that. I let him know that this could be a longer sentence than the correct.
Oh, okay. So it'll be no fine, no court cost, but 30 days in jail credit for 24.
Señor Gaspar, lo que la corte va a hacer es le va a dar tiempo servido, no le va a dar libertad condicional como el fiscal estaba recomendando. Usted tiene 24 días, el juez le va a dar 30 días, o le faltan 6 días para que cumpla su sentencia y ya termina con este caso.
Ok, muchísimas gracias.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your excuse. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Right.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez, did you have another one?
That's it.
I did have another one, Judge, but I believe they did not bring him from Brooks County, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Your excuse. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Richard Gonzalez has number 22.
Okay, number 22 here. That'll be Fabricio Garcia. Fabricio Garcia.
He's a Spanish speaker, Your Honor.
Okay, also needs interpreting right now. All right.
Levante su mano
Yes,
derecha,
sir.
señor.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the
¿Usted
truth?
jura que el testimonio que va a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Así es, su señoría.
Okay, and you
correct,
can
Your
put your
Honor.
hand down.
Voy a
sir.
bajar su mano.
CR 2205-665D, Fabricio Perez Garcia, you're charged DWI, Class B misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
A usted lo acusan de una clase B. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $2,000 y no más de 6 meses en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿usted comprende eso sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights?
Usted comprende que tiene el derecho de apelar y tiene el derecho de que un jurado oiga su caso, pero es correcto que usted ha rechazado esos dos derechos.
Así es.
That's correct.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez lo han declarado que esté mentalmente incompetente?
No.
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
¿Usted comprende que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que usted se declare culpable?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that your plea of guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law?
Y usted comprende que si usted se declara culpable y no es ciudadano de este país, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que le nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Usted comprende eso sí o no?
Así es, su señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se le explicó a usted por su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
¿Y cómo se declara, señor? ¿Culpable o no culpable? Guilty.
Culpable.
Guilty.
And are you
Guilty.
pleading guilty freely and
¿Y
voluntarily?
se está declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Así es.
That's correct.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports to States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal, States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 3914 disclosures at States Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment at States Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and stipulate that the evidence that has been submitted to the court is sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection, so stipulated.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And our recommendation state?
Your Honor, the state recommends a $300 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 10 months, the mobile alcohol monitoring device for 6 months, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, an alcohol class, 30 community service hours, and a restitution hearing, Your Honor.
Restitution hearing for July 17th? I'm sorry, July 19th. July 19th at 3 p.m. July 19th, 3 p.m. Meanwhile, court will hereby waive the community hours. Anything else, Mr. Gonzalez?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be the judgment for Mr. Garcia. Yeah, 300. How many days he's got? 15 days? We can do it $100 plus court costs.
Señor García, va a estar en libertad condicional por 10 meses. El juez le bajó a la multa en vez de 300 a $100.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good luck with your probation. Okay, sir.
Suerte con su libertad condicional, señor.
Tenga buenas tardes y muchas gracias, señoría.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
You
Judge.
too. Thank you.
Igualmente, gracias.
All right, you're excused, Mr. Gonzalez. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Judge, that's all we have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir, you're excused. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
We got two restitutions. We have Miss Lucy Regalado, number one.
Okay, two restitution hearings. Miss Lucy Regalado, there she is.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, looks like you're flying an airplane. Are you flying or driving?
I'm driving. I'm trying to get to a stopping point, Judge.
Okay. You want to get to a stopping point or?
Yes. Let me just pull over.
Go ahead and do it, okay? State, we have Francisco Vasquez, CR 2204-577D, Francisco Estrada Vasquez, and this is a restitution hearing. Any witnesses did you call on, State?
Your Honor, if the court could call Maria Alvarez and Amado Rodriguez.
Amado Rodriguez and Maria Alvarez are not in the waiting room here in the and neither at the courtroom or courthouse, because otherwise I would have been advised by staff. So nobody showed up, State.
Your Honor, we've made attempts to contact these victims. At this time, the state would request restitution be set at 0.
All right, on CR 2204-577D, Francisco Vasquez, 0 restitution. Anything else, Ms. Regalado?
No, Your Honor, that's all I have. Thank you very much, Judge.
That'll do it. Thank you so much. You're excused, man.
Thank you. Have a nice afternoon.
You too. Bye now.
Number three.
Number 3, that'll be
She's trying to connect. She hasn't
okay.
connected.
Catherine Perez is trying to connect. She's connecting. But let me ask the state here on CR 2205-227D, Jose Gildardo Perez. Restitution. Who are the witnesses in this one, sir?
Your Honor, the victims in this case are Juan Castro, Faustina Castro, and Maria Ortiz. We did send out restitution letters on July 1st. We have not had any contact with these victims. At this time, the state would be requesting restitution be set at 0.
And for the record, both Castros and Ortiz are not in the waiting room nor at the courthouse.
Which is the second custom?
Faustina Castro. And okay, so you're saying 0 restitution?
Yes, Your Honor.
For all 3 of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, none of them showed up, none of them responded. Okay, so it'll be 0 restitution on CR 2205-227D, Jose Gildardo, like Gildardo Perez. So if we get a hold of Miss Perez, Catherine Perez. Okay, there she is. Good
I'm
afternoon.
sorry
Ms.
about
Perez.
that, Judge. I had to step away for just a sec.
No problem. We just got the announcement on your client, Jose Perez. It'll be 0 restitution.
Perfect, Judge. Thank you so much.
You're excused. Have a good day, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it for right now? I think that'll do it, right?